vibeBooks. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett. Summary. Book Summary. Welcome to vibeBooks. I'm Corey, and I'll be your guide through today's story. We're about to step into a world that begins in silence and sorrow, but slowly blossoms into something full of light, laughter, and life. This is The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, a timeless classic about transformation, healing, and the quiet power of nature. Wherever you are, I invite you to pause for a moment, let the world fade, and follow me into the moors of Yorkshire, where something beautiful is waiting to grow. Let's begin. Mary Lennox wasn't a likable child. Pale, thin, and sour-faced, she had been raised by servants in colonial India, not out of affection but neglect. Her mother, beautiful and distant, had no time for a child. Her father was always away, so Mary became willful, angry, and withdrawn. When a cholera outbreak suddenly sweeps through her household, her entire world vanishes. Her parents die, and Mary is left completely alone, unnoticed, unwanted, and forgotten. She is sent to England to live with an uncle she has never met at a cold, ancient place called Misselthwaite Manor. The manor is massive and gray, tucked into the wild Yorkshire moors. It's not a place of warmth. It's a place of long corridors, closed doors, and cold silences. Her uncle, Archibald Craven, is often away, and when he's home, he stays hidden, consumed by grief over the loss of his wife 10 years earlier. Mary is told to entertain herself. She's not used to doing anything on her own. But the silence forces her out of herself. For the first time in her life, she begins to notice the world around her. The wind across the moors, the smell of rain, the sound of birdsong. She meets Martha, a plain but kind-hearted housemaid who doesn't coddle her. Martha tells her stories of her family and of the moors, and speaks of a mysterious walled garden that has been locked up since Mrs. Craven's death. No one has entered it for a decade. The key was buried, the door was lost, and the garden forgotten. Mary becomes obsessed. A locked garden, closed off from the world, feels like a metaphor for her own heart. She begins exploring the estate's grounds, driven by something she can't quite explain. Day by day she grows stronger, walking farther, feeling the cold air fill her lungs, letting the moorland sky wash over her. And one day she finds it. Not the garden yet, but the key, hidden deep in the earth. Not long after, with the help of a robin that seems almost magical in its awareness, she finds the door. Overgrown with ivy, nearly invisible. She opens it. The garden inside is not dead, it's sleeping. Wild roses tangle over stone paths, weeds choke the flower beds. But beneath it all is something waiting. A breath, a heartbeat, a possibility. Mary decides she'll bring it back to life, not just the garden, herself. She begins to work, though she's never held a spade in her life. Then comes Dickon, Martha's younger brother, a boy with a gentle soul and an uncanny connection to animals. He understands the rhythms of nature. With Dickon's help, Mary learns how to prune, how to plant, how to tend to the sleeping earth. While she grows the garden, she grows into herself. Her sourness fades. Her anger lifts, her health returns. She laughs, she cares. But the garden isn't the only secret in the house. One night, Mary hears crying in the manor's endless halls. Everyone tells her it's just the wind, but she knows better. She follows the sound and discovers a hidden room where a pale boy lies alone in bed. His name is Colin. He's her cousin, the son of her uncle, and he's been locked away, just like the garden. Colin believes he is dying, that he's weak, that he's broken. But Mary sees something different. He's angry, yes. Fragile, yes. But he's not doomed. She challenges him, pushes him. Slowly, she draws him out. Eventually, she brings him to the garden. At first, Colin arrives in a wheelchair. But the air, the green, the feel of the ground beneath his feet, it changes him. As the garden grows, so does he. And one day, he stands. Not out of miracle, but out of belief. He's not weak, he's not dying, he's alive. The three children, Mary, Colin, and Dickon, return to the garden day after day. They plant, they talk, they laugh. The transformation is complete. The garden becomes a sanctuary, not just of flowers, but of healing, of friendship, of joy. Meanwhile, far away, Archibald Craven is still lost in sorrow, but he begins to dream again, dreams of his wife, of laughter, of light. He feels drawn home. When he returns to Misselthwaite, he expects silence and sadness. Instead, he finds something extraordinary. His son, the boy he thought too weak to walk, is standing before him, whole, smiling. It's not a fantasy. It's the power of attention, of love, of nature, of care. The garden has done more than bloom. It has mended what was broken, not just in the children, but in the adults too. Mary is no longer a forgotten orphan. Colin is no longer a tragic invalid. Even Mr. Craven begins to soften, to step back into the world. The story doesn't end with grand celebrations or declarations. It ends with green, growing things, with hope, with renewal. The locked doors of the past have been opened. The garden is alive, and so are they. At its heart, The Secret Garden is not just a story about children or flowers. It's about transformation. Every character begins in a state of emotional dormancy. Mary is bitter and unloved. Colin is consumed by fear and isolation. Mr. Craven is broken by grief. Even the garden, a central symbol, is locked away, tangled and lifeless. But what changes them is not magic in the traditional sense. It's attention, patience, love. It's time spent in the company of growing things, in digging, planting, touching the earth. The healing that takes place is slow, natural, and profound. Nature plays a quiet but powerful role. The wind on the moor, the songs of birds, the scent of fresh soil, these are not just background details. They are medicine. They represent freedom, renewal, and connection to something greater. As Mary, Colin, and Dickon nurture the garden, they are also nurturing themselves and one another. There's also the idea of belonging. None of these characters begin the story feeling wanted. But through the creation of a shared space, the secret garden, they build relationships that give them purpose. They learn to trust, to laugh, to rely on each other. In the quiet of the garden, they rediscover joy. Another powerful theme is the belief in the possible. Colin believed he would die young. Mary believed no one could love her. But when those beliefs are challenged, gently, persistently, they begin to shift. The story reminds us that the mind is a garden too. What we believe, we grow. And the right thoughts can change everything. The Secret Garden is more than a children's book. It's a meditation on grief and renewal. It's a story of loneliness, yes, but more importantly, it's a story about coming back to life. This book invites us to slow down, to listen to birdsong, to tend to our emotional landscapes. It shows us that healing isn't dramatic, it's daily. It's hidden in the routines of care, in the beauty of nature, in the quiet moments of connection. It's also a deeply hopeful book. In a world that often feels too fast, too chaotic, or too disconnected, The Secret Garden reminds us that joy can return, that love can be found, that even what seems forgotten can bloom again. For readers of all ages, whether you're hearing it for the first time or returning after many years, this story offers something gentle, wise, and enduring. It whispers the same truth through every page, that life, like a garden, begins again, with just a little light, a little love, and the courage to open the gate. If this story stirred something in you, a sense of wonder, a feeling of hope, a quiet invitation to grow, then hold on to it. Let it remind you that healing often begins in the smallest of ways. With sunlight, with care, with the courage to open a hidden door. The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett is more than a classic. It's a story we return to when we need to remember that transformation is possible for anyone at any time.